that melt metals, all right? And so 7 times hotter simply meant that they would disintegrate upon entering, okay? Read.
If it be so,
our God is able
to deliver us from
our
the burning
God.
fiery furnace.
Hey, folks, here it is, folks. The people who know their God, the mighty men of God, have great boldness for God, and that's why this man was able to stand up and fight with 800 men. That's why this other guy dealt with 300 men. That's why when the Israelites withdrew because of the lentils of the field, this one man stayed. He did not let the majority affect his response in what he knew about his God. And that's why he's named among the mighty men of David. Read.
If it be so, our God whom we serve,
if it be so, our God is able to deliver us from this fiery furnace and can deliver us out of thine hand, O king.
But if not,
but even if our God does not will for us to be delivered,
be it known unto
if
thee,
he wills for us to be burned alive, to disintegrate in this fiery furnace, guess what, O king? We still won't bow. I'm talking about people who know their God, okay, will do great exploits, okay? They will have great thoughts about their God, and they will always be bold and stand for their God. Those are the people who know their God.
Amen.
Read.
But if not, be it known unto thee, O king, that we will not serve thy God.
We will not. We've got a constitution.
Nor worship the golden
And we cannot make any compromises. You see, the mighty men of David came because they were distressed, in debt. They were like David, the scum of that entire society. And what they did was they listened to the leader, the king, who was a man after God's own heart, who had great thoughts about God, who had great boldness for God, and would not let the people around him change him. He would not let those who hated him make him into a hateful person. This was a man who understood that there was a bigger picture, okay, and a greater destiny that God had for him because he had been anointed king as a child. I'm sure he wondered a whole lot of times. I'm sure he scratched his head a lot of times. But as he says in chapter 22, God is my shield, he'll fight my battles, and he will deliver me, and I'm just waiting to see what he wants to do with me. Mighty men, folks. I shared this morning over 70% of inmates in prison. You know that I am the supervising chaplain of Alameda County Sheriff's Department. 5,000 inmates I got to minister to. I'm the one who's got to walk up to a guy and say, I'm sorry to tell you, but your son was killed this morning. And hear him scream, fall to his knees. I'm the one who's got to walk up to a woman and says, I'm sorry to inform you, but your son, your daughter was killed. They were burned in the fire. They were shot in the back of the head, both of them, cold-blooded. Murder. I'm the one who has to do that, all right? Over 2 million people are incarcerated in our country. And over 70% grew up fatherless. I dare you to go to South Central and knock on door to door and try to find father. And you know what happens there, folks? People grow up with what's called father wounds. Father wounds. You see, how do you deal with the first man of your life leaving you? You see that? How do you deal with that? The first man of your life rejected you. You begin life with a hole in your heart, and it comes out in negative behavior. negative, self-defeating behavior. And then you start a vicious cycle. The first guy I visited in the jail out there, after being trained to do my job, I had to tell him that his father had died. He cried, and we talked to him, prayed with him, walked him around the cell or the quasi-yard, prayed with him, and then he said, could you do me a favor? When he calmed down, he said, could you do me a favor? Could you tell my children that their grandfather passed? I said, what are their phone numbers? He went like this. He said, my son Rodney's in housing unit 6. Elbert is in housing unit 31. And Bruce is in housing unit 22. And my daughter's in North County Jail. The beginning of the generational curse. You see, if I grew up fatherless, all right? If I grew up fatherless, how can I become something that I've never seen or experienced? Amen? How? I'm trying to become man, and I've never seen nor experienced it. And so who's going to teach me how to be man but my peers that I admire and will become? The other thing, guess what, folks? Here's a horrible thing, a horrible mean statistic. Did you not know that what you hate most, you will become? Because it dominates, it entraps, it imprisons your mind. And subconsciously, you are becoming what you hate most about your father. All you've got to do is look at children of abandonment, they abandon. Children of molestation, they molest. Okay? All right? Victim becomes perpetrator over and over and over and over and over again. Folks, we've got some horrible issues in our communities. Let me give you another statistic, folks. In working in the jails, I read statistics all the time because it comes across my desk. Over 90% of all inmates have some drug problem. Out of 2 million inmates across this country, over 90% are in there because of some drug-related crime. Isn't that amazing? Take the drugs away, bring the fathers back home, and our tax bill for prisons is cut by 90%. Isn't that amazing? All right. Takes over $30,000 in most jails and prisons to keep a person incarcerated for 1 year. You know how much money can go back in the taxpayer's pocket? You know what that would do to the economy to have that much money? And these are things that can happen. All right. The sad thing, folks, is that if I came from a father who abandoned me, how am I supposed to stay with the wife that I claim that I love so much? I don't have any tools. Nobody's taught me how to be man.